Hi everyone, this is Ravi. Welcome to Cypress automation tutorial. As you all know, I've already published around 8 lessons covering different topics related to Cypress automation. This is our lesson 9 where you will learn about assertions. There are two types of assertions I'm going to teach you. First one, how can we use implicit assertions while automating your test cases? And then how can we use explicit assertions while automating your test cases by using Cypress automation tool? Please do subscribe to the channel. Click on bell icon. You'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos. Thank you. Okay, so now let us see our lesson objective. Our lesson objectives is to understand what is explicit assertion, and then we are going to see some examples how can we use two different types of assertions, should and, while automating your test cases. And also we are going to understand about explicit assertions, and we will see examples expect and assert. These two assertions, how can we use these two assertions while automating our test cases? So now without delay, let us jump onto the system and see how can we implement these implicit assertions and explicit assertions by using Cypress automation tool while automating our test cases. So this is our Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I would recommend you guys to please visit my previous 8 lessons to understand the basics of Cypress automation and how can we use Visual Studio Code to write our automated test cases by using JavaScript. Okay, so throughout the sessions we will be using JavaScripting. Okay, so here if you see, this is my folder. Let us first create one file. Right click on the folder and then click on new file. And here I'm going to name this as assertions YouTube session. Okay, we'll do one thing, assertions session dot sci dot js. Okay, because we are writing our scripts in JavaScript, that's why we are giving an extension of JS. Okay, so this is my new file that I have created. Okay, first let us first describe our scenario. Okay, so let us first describe. First I'm going to describe by using an arrow function. Okay, I'm going to use arrow function here. Okay, and here first I'm going to say describe. So I already explained all these concepts earlier. Okay, this is my describe block. Describe, and here I'm going to specify assertions lesson. Okay, and here let us use arrow function. What is the arrow function? You all know, right? Equal to this one. This is your arrow function. Okay, and then your open curly braces. So this is where we are going to write all the tests. So in this block, describe block, under describe block, we will be writing all our test cases. Okay, so how does test cases be written in Cypress? It's in it blocks. So all the test cases that we are going to write in it blocks. Okay, so let us first, you can define n number of it blocks within one describe block. Okay, so let us first define one it block. So I'm going to say first we are going to see implicit assertions, right? That's why I'm going to say implicit assertions. Again, it block also contains your arrow function, and then this is your arrow function equal to, and then open curly braces. Okay, so this is my first test case, implicit assertions. Let me go back to my Chrome and to see what is the application that we are going to automate. Okay, so we are going to automate Cypress application. That means, see this one, example.cypress.io. Let me copy this. So we are going to automate the test cases by using example.cypress.io. I'm going to leave this link in the description. Okay, so here first I need to visit this particular website, correct? For that, so we are going to write sci.visit. Okay, sci.visit. What is the URL that we are going to use? I'm going to use the URL example, this one. Okay, sci.visit. So what it is going to do? It's going to visit the URL. It is going to navigate to the URL. So once that is done, now I'm going to add, what I'm going to do? I'm going to add some implicit. Let us add implicit assertions. Okay, by using, as I told you, we have should and. These two are the assertions that we have, right? For the URL, what I'm going to do? Let us first add should and assertions, implicit assertions for the URL. Okay, so that means I would like to get the URL. See, once I navigate here, I want to validate the URL, whether the URL is correctly displayed or not. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do, sci.url, and here I would like to use, so this brings us the URL. This is one implicit assertion. The should, I'm going to use the keywords. Okay, so whenever you use assertion, you should be able to use the keywords. Okay, so I'm going to use a keyword called include. You can see it is displaying, it is automatically populating. Include, what it should include? It should include here in the URL, let's say I want to say it should include example, right? Copy that and paste it here. So what I'm saying, this particular URL should include is one keyword that you will be using along with your should assertion, and there are multiple keywords that you have. Okay, I'm going to discuss different keywords that we can use along with should implicit assertion. Okay, and this should include, the URL should include word called example. Okay, and then, and also let's say I want to, whatever the URL that I have entered, right, does that match with the URL what I'm expecting? Okay, what I'm going to do, if the URL is actually same or not, sci dot, again URL, sci.url. So this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to use dot should, but the keyword this time I'm not actually trying to validate whether the word is included or not, but I'm trying to validate if the URL is correct or not. That's why I want to use eq, equal. The URL should be equal to what? Should be equal to this URL, sorry, this entire URL, right? So that is equality, to compare the URL as it is. And then also there is another keyword, validate if the URL contains a part of the text. Okay, for this again sci.url, this will bring our URL, and then should is our keyword, and here I'm going to use contain. It's not contains, it's contain. What it should contain? It should contain, let's say, Cypress. See, almost like it is similar as include, but It's a different keyword. So the URL should contain Cypress word. Okay, so now let us just save all this entire code base. And now what I'm going to do, I have to open. So let me close this. Okay, so to run your test, first you need to open your terminal. Click on new terminal, and here npx is to interact with your local Cypress commands. Okay, npx Cypress open. This will open your Cypress UI component. So now you can see here your Cypress UI component has been opened. So this is your execution tool. So here I'm going to select end-to-end testing, and now here you need to select which browser you would like to execute this test. I would like to select Chrome and click on start E2E testing in Chrome. This will open your browser now, and it shows all the tests that are available in your VSCode. See, Visual Studio Code. Let me open the Visual Studio Code. So I have getting started, advanced examples, YouTube sessions. So getting started, advanced examples, and this is your YouTube sessions. I'm going to expand this, and this is our new test that we created, the new file that we created, JavaScript file, assertions session, right? I want to run this. Simply click on this file. This will run your test whatever just now we created. So now see, it is visiting and done. So if you see here, your first test assertion expected is this included example, and this is your second assertion, your URL expected is this and is equal to this. That means these two are matching. And here expected is this URL should include Cypress. So that means this is also passed. So all three assertions got passed, right? And now let us see some more examples now. Okay, what we are going to do, and now instead of using, how can we use and assertion? We have used should assertion, but now I want to use and assertion. Now how to avoid, that means how can we avoid writing sci.url should, sci.url should, sci.url should. So we are writing every time this sci.url should, right? So these many times. How can we avoid writing sci.url every assertion, right? Multiple times. How can we avoid? So now we are going to use and assertion. Okay, what I'm going to do, see here, I'm going to copy same thing. I'm going to visit same here. Oh, sorry, this one we already visited. Now I'm going to copy this. First, I'm going to copy the same test. What I'm doing, sci.url should include example, right? Now, instead of writing again sci.url again and again, you can do one thing. You can directly write should. So instead of writing sci.url, what I'm doing first, without using and assertions, I'm just trying to avoid you writing sci.url again and again. Okay, should, what is our next step? EQ. It should be equal to what? Again, your URL, right? My URL should be equal to this one. Copy this and paste it here. Done. Again now, dot should this time contain, should contain, sorry, should contain, again what it should contain, Cypress, let's say Cypress. Done. So what I'm doing here, instead of writing site.url multiple times, I just used should assertions directly, because in the first command I used site.url and I am inserting assertions for the same URL, right? Because you are inserting assertions for the same URL that you entered in the first command, you need not to use site.url again and again. Okay, so now if you simply, let's keep this aside now. Okay, let's keep this aside. I need not to again run multiple times because our session is already open. I can simply, let's do one thing, let me put it aside so that you will understand. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this right side and then I'm gonna keep this here. Now what I'm gonna simply go to the file and save it. File and then save. Automatically your test will kickstart. See now, the new test whatever we inserted by using should here, these three are the new tests. All are pass. Right? Now, let us do one thing. Now, I want to use, now I don't want to use should assertion. Instead, should assertion multiple times. Instead, I want to use and assertion. How can we do that? Again, site.url. First is should. It should include example. Okay, I'm writing this. Now, here instead of using should, I can simply use and assertion. And assertions. And that means this URL should include example and it should be equal to, what? Equal to this URL and they should contain a word called Cypress. Correct? So that means we are now using a new implicit assertion called and here we are using another implicit assertion called should. Okay, so now because I'm actually inserting the assertions for the same URL, that's why I can use and instead of should. Now let me simply again save this. I'm gonna simply enter Control S. Okay, Control S. See, your test will kickstart now. So now these are the new assertions that we used and assertion. Correct? Implicit and assertion. Now add negative assertion. How can we add negative assertion? Again, I'm going to use and here I'm going to use, instead of contain, I'm going to use, earlier we used contain, right? You also have not contain keyword. You can see here, this is not contain. Not contain, see what it should not contain, the URL should not contain something, Ravi test. The URL should not contain Ravi test. Correct? So this is your negative assertion. Okay, so let me just control and save. You can see your negative assertion should also be passed. See, this is your expected. Do not include what? Do not include Ravi test. So that is correct. It does not include Ravi test. Okay, so that is done. And now let us again see another example. I would like to add some more assertions. Add some more assertions on title of the page. Okay, so for that, what we need to do? First of all, we need to capture the title, right? To include some assertions, you need to first capture the title. How can you capture the title? Let's go back to our website that we are using. Okay, let's go to website, Chrome. Let me open Chrome. So this is the website, correct? And if you see here, the title is kitchen sink. So I want to get the title. It's simple. Sci dot. Earlier we have entered URL. Now you just need to write title. Sci dot title. This brings your title. Should. This should contain what? Sci dot title should include. Should include what? It should include. Let me take the title. So this is your title, right? Let's open this header, and the page title is this entire title. Okay, let me copy this entire title. Copy. This should include what? Let's say I want to include just kitchen sink. Correct? This should include kitchen sink. Your title should include kitchen sink. And what about I want to have another thing? And same thing. I don't want to use again everything. Simple. I don't want to write sci.title.should. Instead, I simply enter and it should equal to. So basically, the title should be equal to this. This is your title, right? Dot and see how short it is. And this should contain what? It should contain, I'll say, sink. Should contain sink, right? So this is, we have inserted the assertions for title of the page. So let's simply put this aside and bring our UI here and then save this. What I'm going to do, let me pull this right side. Okay, go to file and click on save. So now this will run. See, all your assertions are now passed. So this is related to title. Your expected title is this, and that include kitchen sink. And this is your expected title, and your actual title also is this one. That is related to title. Now let us see some more example here now. Okay, I want to verify some element present on the page or not. So we just verified URLs, we just verified the title. Now I want to verify if an element is present on your page or not. Okay, verify some element present on page or not. Okay, so I'm going to add some assertions here. Okay, add assertions to validate if the element present. Okay, so now here if you see the web page, I want to verify if this entire element, this entire section is present or not. Okay, for that what I'm going to do, inspect, right click, sorry, inspect. If you see here, your utilities, if you see this one, this is your entire utilities. So if you see this entire section is visible or not, I'm gonna verify. Okay, what is the property? The element property is utilities, which is id equal to utilities. Okay, let's go back here. Just simply here I'm gonna say sci dot get. Okay, sci dot get, because till now we have used title and URL, but now what I'm first getting the element. I need to get the element. Sci dot get. Here I need to write utility is the id, right? Id is denoted by hash, and then utilities. Okay, let me copy this here. This is my id, utilities, right? Dot. So now what is the keyword that we'll be using? Let's say, okay, should this particular section or this particular element should be visible. There is another keyword called be dot visible. See, so what I'm saying, this particular utilities element should be visible. So I'm using should assertion with b dot visible keyword. And now sci dot get. Let us do one more thing again. Again, utilities. Now instead of should be, instead of that I can do this way also. Dot should, instead of be visible I can simply say exist. I can simply use exist, right? So this is going to validate if that element is exist or not. So now simply you can just open this particular, keep this aside and then save this. So simply right click, file and click on save. So this will again run. See, now your new element verification expected is visible. This utilities is visible and this exists in the DOM, correct? So if I see here right side command, it's showing the commands and this is also showing commands, correct? That entire section. Okay, so this way we can validate if any element exists. Now I want to verify, let's say I want to verify if the value is entered into one edit box or not. What I'm going to do, I'll do one thing. Okay, now I want to verify that the value entered in an edited box is correct or not, is correct or not. So for that what I'm going to do, first I need to navigate to the page. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate to commands, and then I'm going to navigate to actions. So here under actions I would like to type email ravi@outlook.com, and I would like to validate as soon as I type if that value really exists in the edit box or not. That's what we are going to do. Okay, so for that what we need to do, first you need to navigate to the page. Which page? Utilities page. For that you need to first click on this command, right click and inspect. See, first you need to click on this command. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take the property from the tool itself now. So if you see here, Cypress has its inbuilt tool. How can we do that? Let me show you. And here I want to inspect. There is an option called inspect in Cypress. Okay, select this. I would like to inspect this command, right? So here see, this is your element property you can directly take. copy this one. Okay, copy this one. So what I'm going to do, first you need to navigate to the URL, and then once you navigate to the URL, you need to click on this particular menu, right? So that's why I copied that. This one, dot click, dot click. So this will take you to the new command drop down, this one. And now you need to click on actions. So for this, we need to capture your element property. Let us go to the tool again, Cypress tool, and here let me expand this. Now click on capture and select your action. So this is your sci.get, this is your element property. So it gives you the entire command. Simply copy this, and here let us go back to VSCode and simply copy this, because we have copied the entire command here, right? Simply copy this and dot click. Okay, so this will click on action. So once you come to the action, right, you need to enter the email ID in this email box, correct? So for that, let me just right click and inspect quickly, and let me take the property from here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use, this is input tag and your ID is email. So I'm going to simply go here. Let's sci dot get, sorry, sci dot get here input, right? We have input attribute. I'm going to use the attribute called ID. This attribute, this entire attribute. I'm going to use this entire attribute. I'm using the input tag and then attribute. Okay, and then attribute. So I'm going to use single quotes here. Okay, attribute, and then dot. So now I'm going to enter the value, right? First I need to type the value. Type, I'm going to type. What I'm going to type? I'm going to type ravi@outlook.com. So now I entered the value. Enter the value to edit box. Now I want to validate if the whatever we typed, that is correctly typed or not. Sci.get, again I'm going to copy same thing here again. So I'm going to use the same element, right? I'm going to copy same thing here. Dot should. Okay, should, this time I'm going to use the new keyword called have. Should have dot value. See this one, should have value. What is the value? Comma, my value is ravi@outlook.com. So this should contain the value ravi@outlook.com. Okay, so what we did, we simply navigated to your commands menu and then actions menu. I entered the email ID, and then I'm verifying if the email ID correctly entered in the edit box or not. So now simply this time let's put this right side and let's put this left side. Now save this, save it. Now it should run everything. Perfect. So let's expand this and analyze this thing. See, if you see here we validated this. Now see, we clicked on commands menu, and then we clicked on actions submenu, and then we are getting the element property of this email, and then we typed here, right? And then we are verifying if ravi@outlook.com is correct or not, right? So now that means you are verifying if the value exists in the edit box or not. Okay, so what we learned till now, we have learned keywords like EQ and then contain. We also learned include. We also learned exist. We also learned, I think, have, dot value, correct, etc. So these are all the different keywords that we have used while implementing implicit assertions. Let me cover these explicit assertions in my next session. So if you have any queries, leave your queries in the comment box. I'll try to respond to your queries. So you all understand the concepts of assertions. Two types of assertions, implicit and explicit assertions. So for this session, we have only covered implicit assertions. Hope you all understand how can we use implicit assertions while automating our test cases by using Cypress automation tool. Please do subscribe to the channel, click on bell icon, you'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos. Thank you.